Hi YouTube, this is Tamara and I am coming to you today to talk a little bit more about my decision to have weight loss surgery. For those of you new to my channel, I am pre-op gastric bypass. I'm scheduled to have RNY gastric bypass on August 31st, 2015, so 1 month from today, and I'm very excited. In my intro video, which if you missed, I will link below, I kind of talked about my history of being overweight. Today I want to talk about my history of weight loss and how my eyes were finally opened to the idea, the possibility of having weight loss surgery. So, I've been overweight my whole life. I am not new to attempting to lose weight. It's been a lifelong struggle and I have done it all. I have done, I guess my most successful endeavors have been through Weight Watchers and then through, which I've done many times with success for short periods of time, and then through doctors supervised diets with phentermine, which I've done several times as well. So starting back probably 10 years ago, I saw a doctor who specialized in weight management, and he put me on a diet, prescribed phentermine, and I was really successful with it. Over the course of probably 2 or 3 months, I lost 50 pounds, I want to say. My memory's a little rusty, but I want to say about 50 pounds. And I was really happy. So I got really close to the lowest I've ever been as an adult. And I think I was too happy with it. Like I was in my early 20s, I was looking good, feeling good, and I wanted to go out and have a good time with my friends, not worry about maintaining that weight loss. That was not high on the priority. And so I didn't learn how to transition from being on a highly restrictive diet using a appetite suppressant to healthy eating habits that could sustain me and could sustain that loss over a long period of time. So came back on, not, I want to say really fast, but eventually came back on. I did, my stints with Weight Watchers in years since then, and then probably 3 years ago, I went to a different clinic that also specialized in weight management and did the OptiFast program, also using phentermine as an appetite suppressant. The first time I went there, I was really successful over a couple of months. And then I started to try to transition into adding table food into the plan, because I was at first just on OptiFast. I was on just the shakes and the bars, and that was it, and using the phentermine. So once I started adding table food, I couldn't handle the restriction. Like I couldn't just have 1 cup of something. Once I allowed myself to have real food, I couldn't limit it. And something I do when I go off plan is I isolate. If I know I haven't followed a plan to the T, I get embarrassed about it because I've been struggling with my weight my whole life, and because I know these plans can be successful, I feel like if I know that's what I need to do to lose weight and I'm so desperate to lose weight, why can't I just stay on plan? So I get really embarrassed, and then I don't want to go back and see them if I'm not going to report a loss or if I'm going to report a gain. I mean, that would be the worst. So I think, okay, I'll just wait until next week and do really good this week. And then once I've lost a little bit of weight or lost the weight that I'd gained, then I'll go back. And then it becomes this thing where I don't go back because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And they could offer me additional help. They could help me get back on plan, but I would be so embarrassed about what I'd done and going off plan that I wouldn't want to go face them. So I'm a self-sabotager, totally, 100%. And so I went back to that same clinic a couple of times over the course of the last couple of years. Like after some months had passed when I'd go off plan and regain the weight, then you know, a year would pass and then I would go back. And so I really, in the last couple of years, have been in this cycle of thinking, okay, I'm just going to be fat and happy, AKA eat whatever I want and not care about it. And then I would, you know, go through times when I'd just be like super miserable in my own skin and really wanting to make a change. And that would be the times when I'd go back to that clinic. And then I would think, I'm just going to be fat and happy again. But the thing is I can't be fat and happy. Like, I can't be happy in this body. Not really, not 100%. And I'm not living life to its fullest potential. Honestly, I'm on the sidelines. So it's been a struggle, and that, you know, I've been going through that these last couple of years. Meanwhile, several times I've kind of researched weight loss surgery. Never because I was interested in it for myself or even for anybody else. It's just like, if somebody tells me a little bit of information about anything, likely I'll want to know more. So there'll be a show on about, I'll see a Dateline or something about a fucking serial killer or something. And then I'll get online and want to read all this information about the serial killer. Do I want to be a serial killer? No, I'm just a curious little creature. So several times, you know, like I said, I've got online and researched about it, you know, about the different procedures and what do you have to do to be eligible. And then specifically one time I was going through my insurance packet from work, talking, you know, every year we get during open enrollment about the different plans that they offer. And there's a little asterisk on the bottom of one of the pages that specifically states that my plan offers weight loss surgery, or that it would cover weight loss surgery. And so when I saw that, it was another one of those times when I kind of was like, huh, I wonder what that's like. And even though I've looked at it before, it's like, get online and is there even a bariatric provider in my town? And sure enough, yeah, there is. And what does the process look like if I wanted to go there? And kind of research it all. And again, never thinking I want to do this, just kind of having that information in my back pocket and not really knowing what to do with it, because I never thought bariatric surgery was an option for me. Fast forward to summer 2014. My best friend and I are having an innocuous conversation, just sitting, hanging out, talking about whatever, shooting the shit, catching up. And she had just come back from vacation with a couple of girlfriends. One of her girlfriends who had just had gastric bypass, like within a few months of their vacation. So she's like, oh yeah, da 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 da, and you know, Jennifer just had gastric bypass. And I was like, well, I want gastric bypass. And it wasn't like I was really saying I want a gastric bypass. Like, she could have said, oh yeah, you know, Stan just got a new car. And I'd be like, I want a new car. Oh yeah, me and Larry are gonna go get ice cream. I want ice cream. It's not something I say in every conversation, but it's just, you know, somebody talks about something and you're like, oh yeah, I want that. Sign me up. What do I gotta do? So she's like, oh, you know, Jennifer just had gastric bypass. And I was like, I want gastric bypass. And she was like, yeah, I bet you would really hurt or I bet you it would really help you with your back. Because I have a bad back. I had just had back surgery the year before because I had a herniated disc. And here I am, like 29 years old last year. Well, 28 when I had my back surgery, and I've got a bad back. Like, I have arthritis and stenosis and all sorts of just bad shit happening in my back. And so she was like, oh yeah, it would probably help you out a lot with your back, and because of your back, I'm sure your insurance would cover it. And I was like, oh, my insurance would cover it anyway. Like, I don't even need any comorbidities. I would qualify with my weight alone. And so I had that information, and she was like, oh yeah, do it. And here was this barrier that I didn't even know existed being shattered. And what I didn't realize is that I was really afraid that my best friend would be really judgmental if I had weight loss surgery. A little history, my best friend used to be overweight, very overweight. And she lost weight and has kept it off for years using that same damn weight management clinic that I've been trying to go to and stick with for years. Which adds to the embarrassment of the fact that it hasn't worked for me. Like, she can do it. Obviously, she can do it. She looks amazing. And she's completely, like, her eating habits are amazing. She stays really low carbs, eats really clean. She's incorporated exercise into her life, and I don't want to say she enjoys it. She's not one of those annoying people that's like, oh yeah, I feel so much better after I run 4 miles. But she exercises. She makes it a part of her life. She goes out with people. Like tonight, they're hiking. They're hiking a mountain. I cannot hike a mountain. And so I said to her literally on the phone tonight, next year I'm gonna go hike that mountain with you. But so there was not a thought in the front of my brain that was like, oh, my bestie's gonna be so judgmental of me because here she's lost all of this weight and has maintained it for years on her own with no surgery. So what is she gonna think if I go do it? That was never a conscious thought in my mind. But as soon as we had that innocent conversation and she was like, oh yeah, you should do that. You should look into it. My mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, should I really do that? Is that I can do that? Like, that's an option for me? And so I think I told her probably within a week, like it wasn't a week. I've told her since then that that conversation really has helped me to being where I'm at today, a week, a month out from having gastric bypass. And she's totally not judgy, which we don't judge each other, but we're some judgy bitches. Like, the line from Sex and the City, some people do arts and crafts. We judge, like that is what we do. So yeah, that barrier was removed, and it's not like I went and called up the bariatric surgeon the next day, but within, I would say, 3 months of that conversation, I got the balls rolling on my gastric bypass journey. Like I did what I needed to do to get the ball rolling. So that was a barrier that was removed that I didn't even know existed. And that was really, I think, instrumental in leading to me, like I said, to where I am today, 1 month out, gastric bypass, and I am so excited. I want to say quickly thank you to everybody who's watching my videos. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, and thanks for subscribing. I just can't imagine, like, I'm just like, my mind's blown that anybody's seeing the shit that I have to say. And you can tell I'm a little more comfortable today because my mouth, not great. Like, I have pretty bad language, so my apologies if I offend you. Anyway, that's it for me for this one. I will see you in my next one. Thank you. Bye.